Mr. Mike Okiru, chairman of the Police Service Commission, PSC, and a former Inspector General of Police, stirred the honest nests when he revealed the fact that there are reportedly 150,000 policemen attached to government officials and private individuals. He laments that, and I quote, "We cannot afford to have more than half of the population of the police in private hands." What Mr. Okiru was saying was that about 30% of the total population of policemen that are supposed to be protecting the entire nation of about 180 million people are protecting a privileged few. Controversy has since trailed this revelation, but some may ask, is Mr. Okiru saying anything new? Much of this information has been in the public space, leading to the presidential directive that policemen be withdrawn from such duties. So, what is this true situation, and what are the implications that is our focus on Nigeria Today? I am Shegun Ojelade. Welcome to the program. Well, I'm being joined in the studio to discuss this issue by a retired Assistant Inspector General of Police, Mr. Felix Obaudu. I welcome you to the program, sir.
Pleased to meet you. Good evening, viewers.
I also have with me a regular face on the program, a public affairs analyst, Mr. Jide Ojo. I welcome you also to the program.
It's a pleasure. Good evening, good people of a great nation.
Now, I think I will start with you, Mr. Obaudu. How did we get to this level where almost half of the population of the police is, like we said, guarding just a few? What is wrong with such deployment, or what is the implication of such a scenario?
Well, thank you very much. I think the emphasis right from the beginning has always been on collective policing. That is providing security for the entire nation, for everybody, not for individuals. Not for individuals. Legally speaking, under the law, we're all equal before the law, equality before the law. So there's no room for preferential treatment. But regrettably, as time went, let us look backwards. Many, many years back, we never had this kind of terrible and embarrassing scenario. One, because even though the policemen, the strength wasn't as much as it is today, and of course our population wasn't as much as it is today too, we have absolute security. The crime that we had at that time were maybe stealing and, assault, things like that. But lately, the population has exploded, and the strength of the police force is not enough to contend with the security challenges, the criminality challenges. And in the process, people have now started asking for personalization of security. Beyond that, we got into a stage where it has even become a status symbol. That is, the larger number of policemen you move around with, the more important you feel like. To the extent that people even deliberately go to functions, public functions, late. With the convoy of policemen that are blaring sirens and all of that, driving to the open venue, they wait in the car, police orderlies and attached, those attached them, come and open the doors and all of that. So I think we've gotten it wrong for quite some time. Emphasis placed on the wrong things. I've had instruction be given the past, so withdraw policemen from private people and all of that.
Why is that?
That order is given today. They probably comply within the next 2, 3, 4 months. Thereafter, back to square one.
Why is it difficult to comply with such an order?
That is part of the problem of this country. That brings to mind one of the issues I normally discuss, I talk about, the bad cultures plaguing us as a nation. We've been so inconsistent. Then the question of inequality before the law. The absence of, people just do things and get away with them. no deterrence. And so that emboldens people to be doing things, you know.
I'll come back to you on some of the issues that you raised.
It's so terribly bad, honestly. It's so bad. It's so bad.
Mr. Ojo,
and all of that.
has it anything to do with democracy? Maybe, just like the retired AIG said, it became worse with the advent of, I mean, from 1999, when we have lawmakers, many of them, more political appointees and the rest. Has it anything to do with democratic culture?
Yes and no. And I'll put issues in context. First and foremost, I think we have high incidence of criminality, exponential increase. So much so that a lot of people who ordinarily will have made do with their private security guards are now asking for police protection. So it has become a situation that you know, with the increase in the incidences of kidnapping, you know, insurgency and all of that, a lot of people have come to tighten up their security apparatus around them. But that's one leg of the answer. The other thing is this, the status symbol thing. You know, it's worse in December when people are going home. They pay for all manner of security escorts. And it has become honeypot for military police authorities, commissioners and other senior ranks who approve such. And I stand to be corrected. Now the AIG is here. Whether the money paid goes into the coffers of the federal government, who is actually funding the police.
Can we quickly trash that one out?
I don't know. Maybe
many have even said that, well, maybe the police, by doing this, they are generating IGR.
So maybe they are paying.
Yes.
How much has government?
No, you know, is it a question of revenue generation? I mean, superseding some other considerations to which police are.
I don't think so. Okay. I don't think so. Let me make a point very clear here. I retired 7 years ago, 2011, and while I was in service, there was no such thing. The government never empowered the police to generate revenue internally. So whatever monies they got from all of these services were rendered to members of the public was going to private pockets.
Now, how are personnel? What are the criteria for deploying personnel in the police force? What are the considerations? What are those basic things that will make a DPO or a commissioner of police deploy officers on duties, guard duties?
You know, if you look at Section 4 of the Police Act, which spells out the duties of the police, one of them is the protection and detection of crime. I mean, sorry, prevention, not protection, sorry, permit me. I'm sorry. Prevention and detection. That means if you cannot prevent it, then you go ahead to detect it, right? That's right. So in all your deployment, that is your foremost criterion. When you're deploying men to prevent crimes, and where it can be prevented, to detect that crime and bring the perpetrators to book, you know. But lately, the issue of deployment of men has been commercialized, regrettably. You know.
Mr. Ojo, we can't fold our arms and I mean we can't throw our arms and say, okay, the situation is hopeless. What must be done? AIG,
it's actually not an hopeless situation. But you see, unfortunately, very unfortunately, we need to put issues in context. In that report you cited, Mr. Okiro was alleging that even people who held political offices and have since been relieved of their positions are still. And he said something that lack of funds has impeded their ability to carry out the presidential order to withdraw. And I wonder what that means. Does he need funds to withdraw those people? I think it's just for the boys. people are helping themselves. Like the AIG said, commercialization of security. You know, it has become, and you know, there was something that happened in Anambra towards November 18 governorship election they had last year, when IG withdrew, I think, the aide-de-camp of the governor. And he went to town and said, oh, his life is under threat. They want to expose him to, you know, security threats and all of that. And what did the AIG say? I think somebody within the first headquarters said there are over 200 security personnel guarding governor and his family. Just imagine that astronomical number when you are already complaining that we don't have sufficient to guarantee collective policing. So you have over 200 guarding the first family in the state. That is where we start getting it wrong. When a minister will have about 10 to himself, SSS, police, and other security details, when private individual, businessmen, business mogul, business octopus will pay, you know, to get some 4, 5, 10 police escorts. So the moment we start seeing it as only pot that, oh, I can help and get my retirement benefit before I retire through this medium, then we so it's a dysfunctionality of the system.
Okay, a dysfunctionality of the system. How do you correct such anomaly?
Well, let me say something. Regrettably, in this country, we have never, ever given security the pride of place. I don't want to be very specific. There are certain arms of government where individuals there get allocated sums on a yearly basis, more than what the police command gets. You see? So, and let me differ a little bit with what the chairman of the Police Service Commission said. You don't really need money to withdraw these guys. You don't. You just give the instruction and make sure it's complied with. But again, the political will is not there.
That's what I want to ask.
The political will is not there, because when certain officers are withdrawn from certain people that they are attached to, the phone calls are made, the next thing they're sent back.
Yes.
And I've always said that, you see, if we agree to make sure that there's security over women's security all over this country, there will be no need, absolutely no need for anybody to move around with armed police personnel. If, for instance, there's no kidnapping on the highways, no armed robberies and all of that, then the Fulani cattle headsmen trouble is contained, nipped in the bud. The insurgency, all of those was contained. What do I need the policeman kind of gun follow me for? Absolutely unnecessary. That is where it has failed. If you go to some other political climes,
yes,
how many of their top government officials do you see at functions with policemen standing behind them? Or when they move, you see a lot of policemen carrying weapons, guns, moving around with
even when they are delivering their addresses.
The addresses. Nobody, no security officer stands behind them. But here, what we have is police security all over the place.
But again, must it be policemen?
Not necessarily so.
There
are a lot of security agencies. There are a lot of security agencies. You know.
You know, again, you fit the nail on the AIG. The political will is not there.
It's not we should always remember that he's retired.
No, whether he's retired, he's still an AIG. I mean, once a senator, always a senator. I'm sure you won't object to that. Retired AIG. But you see, the political will is actually what is not there. I read something in the papers today, how CCTV camera was used to arrest some people in
Lagos.
But we have been talking of this CCTV. There was procurement done years back for Abuja and Lagos. Where did it end? If we have CCTV camera, you don't actually need 1 million policemen to guard 180 million Nigeria. The work we were talking behind before the commencement, how ICT has moved tremendously, how it can be deployed even for policing work.
Okay, Mr. Ojo, there are some members of the public who are also itching to join us in this discussion. So we'll take a short break now, and we'll take comments from some members of the public who have 1 or 2 things to add to what we're saying on the program today.
We are meant to protect and serve the people, not serving an individual.
Be like, maybe like a policy that maybe you can't get more than 1 or more than 2 per person, where you just drive by, you see some like 5 policemen, 8 policemen sitting down in front of a particular person's house doing nothing.
The number is not the issue. It is the readiness of the government to make provision for more security personnel. The recruitment should be on a yearly basis.
They know there are some allowances they can collect. Maybe you have got like an honorable senator now. In a week, your money is 25,000 naira apart from salary. We know that now they can put something for the people allocated to Senator so, Honorable so.
You have had some comments from members of the public there. Retired AIG, they mentioned the issue of duration and number. For how long are these deployments? Are they till ad infinitum? You have one today, you can have him for the next 10 years or till the man retires.
You see, ordinarily, a man that is in office has certain things that is entitled to. But once his tenure expires, he should be stripped of all those benefits. Okay? Now, under the United Nations policing ratio, it's supposed to be 1 policeman to 400 persons. But if you divide the 180 million this claim is the current population figure by the present strength of the police force, it's a far cry from what the United Nations has stipulated for us. So like I said, 1, we need to increase the strength of the police force. 2, we need to give security priority of place, because we are spending so much in certain departments that are doing next to nothing. If you know the number of policemen that get killed on a weekly basis or monthly basis, on a yearly basis, you'll be shocked. By then, when they die, what happens? Who talks about them? And in some places, for instance, I don't be very specific, but you know what I'm talking about.
Yes.
There was a fire break somewhere in a major arm of this government, and the whole place shut down. Can you imagine fire break in force headquarters? And there is everybody, go home until... That doesn't make sense. So we must give security priority.
Okay. Now, some Nigerians are even appalled by the kind of duties some of these policemen on guard duties do, especially when you have when your principal is a woman, for instance. You help her to carry her bag, open the door for her. Is that what the police is recruited, trained, and armed to do?
Let me just respond to that too. That is a very, very demeaning function for any police officer. In fact, some of them be reduced to the extent of getting involved in domestic responsibilities, chores. That's not the job of a policeman. But because of the level of poverty, probably the level of ignorance too, the quality of training they've had, then there's even no self-esteem. They can stoop to any level to do whatever to get money to augment their peanut salaries. It's very embarrassing. They're not supposed to do that.
Mr. Ojo, the way it is now we talk of political will to implement, to carry out a presidential directive. How about members of the public? Are we helpless? Are we just going to sit back there and say, well, the political will is not there, let's wait until the situation corrects itself?
Nigerian public are not idle in securing their lives. They have abdicated. They knew the government has abdicated the responsibility to protect them in the first place. You know, there are so many ungoverned places in Nigeria. You and I know that in our neighborhood, we have to hire neighborhood watch, vigilante to protect us. Because where you have the police station is even maybe 20 kilometers away from where you live. And how many are there in that station? Sometimes less than 20. One DCO, one IPO, one DPO. So at the end of the day, even when there are reported crimes, response rate is, you can't expect them to do magic. The equipment is obsolete. You know, that is why we were talking about state policing, whether we don't actually need that. Considering the fact that many states have been augmenting the equipment of Nigerian police. Lagos State, for instance, I am sure that Lagos, Rivers, Kano, many of the big cities, the kind of investment they have made in Nigerian police and the security in general is huge. And if they should fund their own policing system, maybe they will have a better security. But for the members of the public, what can you do? Will you walk to the commissioner of police and say, oh, I know a man close to my house who is having 4 policemen. He knew about it. He's getting returns. It's commercialization. Okay. He knows. Okay. So you can't go and lodge complaint with somebody who is doing something deliberate.
Okay. Now, you suggested more recruitment of policemen. Is that not an avenue for those who are not served now to be well taken care of? I mean, if you recruit again and this new recruits gets to wrong hands again, we'll be back to zero. So we need more than recruitment to get out of this problem.
What? This is the thing. We have to reorientate the men. Place more attention on the quality of the training. When I talk about training, we're talking about the quality of the men you're recruiting, the quality of training you're giving to them, the quality of the training environment. A lot of our training institutions, the police force, are rotten, no facilities whatsoever. But if you recruit quality human beings, train them properly train in a correct training environment with all the facilities, when they get passed out, they are well motivated and they are well equipped, then of course you expect the best from them. Because like I've always said, you can't invest minimally and expect to reap optimally. You'll be deceiving yourself. Mark it down. And one of the biggest problems I'm having is that, you see, when you have police officers who have that self-esteem, self-respect, who know what their calling is all about, a lot of things will improve. I'll give you an example of an experience I had in the US many years back. I went to a shop, bought some things, and the little change the sales guy gave to me, the cashier, I just take, said, no. He said, no, go with the money. Come. I was so embarrassed. But here, what would have been the situation?
They look forward to it.
Yes. And if you don't give them, you see the expression on their faces.
Probably tell you it's too small.
Yes. They will tell you. Yes, you are stingy. Yes. Look at you looking so big and so well fed. And this is all you can give them. Well, you know, so we need officers that will respect themselves, respect the profession. But on the part, then, of course, you should be well trained.
Okay.
In very nice, well-equipped training environment. Okay. Then the government should do their own part.
Now, as we round up this program today, we are very close to 2019. If the experience of what we had in Anambra recently is anything to go by, things may go, may not, I mean, it may go from bad to worse when we have general elections. What must we do? I mean, how will you advise everybody, those who need to have the political will to do the right thing, and those that are still seeking more men to guide them?
I think for me, the Police Service Commission does not have that excuse or alibi to say, oh, we are short of funds, that's why we can't comply with the presidential directive. I think that's just begging the question. Yes, in terms of recruiting new hands, they may say they don't have the funds. Maybe the chairman of Police Service Commission was quoted out of context. But you see, the lambasting that Nigerian police has been receiving, you recall a report sometimes last year that they are the worst in the world. Even though I disagree that Nigerian police are the worst in the world, but the institution leaves more to be desired of a 21st century police force. And unless government, the chairman of Police Service Commission was saying something about the need to pass the Police Trust Fund bill that is before the National Assembly. Peradventure, if that is passed, and private sector, just like we have Education Trust Fund, we can have Police Trust Fund where people, private enterprise, who are paying money to, unreceived money to police commissioners and senior, they now channel that resources to the Police Trust Fund. That will enhance the resources and they can equip better. But for the generality of the public, I think it's the political elite I need to talk to more, because they are the ones that are causing this problem. As we approach 2019, you are likely going to see increase in demand
Yes.
for police escort because people will allege that their lives are under threat. So you cannot ignore those threats, because if they die, they will say, but we told the police they never did anything.
Yes.
So in order to prevent them from hiring private militias to protect them, which is forbidden by the Constitution and the Electoral Act, the police need to rise up to the occasion. Withdraw all these people
last point.
Yes.
that are doing private
Yes.
and less unnecessary work, and deploy them to for collective policing.
Yes.
Lastly, on the
yes. Let me say that I disagree vehemently with those that say that Nigeria police force is the worst globally. That's not true.
Okay.
The question is, everybody needs to seek an answer to this. Why is it that these same Nigerian policemen, when they get posted outside on peacekeeping, they excel?
They excel, yes.
But back home here, they are judged failures.
Yes.
That is the issue. Because over there, out there when they go on peacekeeping, everything is provided for them, from their welfare, equipment, whatever, even where they live. Everything is provided for. And a person is well motivated, you expect that will perform optimally.
Thank you very much.
Yes.
I must thank you, retired Assistant Inspector General. Please.
Thank you so much. My pleasure. It's my pleasure.
For all that you've said on the program. Thank you very much.
Thank you. It's my pleasure.
And then, Mr. Jide Ojo, thank you also for your comments on today's program.
It's a pleasure.
Most thank you, our viewers, also for joining us on the program. Nigeria Today will resume tomorrow. We'll return tomorrow. Same time. Do join us. I am Shegun Ojolade. Bye-bye.